2 days ago, Barack Obama made news with his speech on race relations in America. That speech, of course, at least in part, an effort to control damage after inflammatory views of his longtime but no longer pastor came to light. And now new polls taken while this controversy was still brewing show the relationship between Obama and his pastor was indeed on the minds of many voters. Our Molly Henneberg's live in Washington. Molly, are voters paying attention to this thing, this Reverend Jeremiah Wright controversy?
Yes, and it is concerning a number of them. Almost 3/4 of the people polled said they had heard of the comments. So we went on to ask, has Barack Obama's relationship with Reverend Wright made you have doubts about him? 35% of voters say yes. And when you break it down by political affiliation, about a quarter of Democratic registered voters and a quarter of independents, both groups that Obama really needs, especially the independents in the general election, they say the Reverend Wright controversy has made them have doubts about him. And you see the disparity also when you break it down by race. Whites and blacks, 40% whites, 2% blacks, say they now have doubts about Obama because of Wright.
Okay, so some, especially whites, have doubts, but do they believe that Obama buys into what Wright has been saying? He says he does not.
Right, and that's what's interesting here. While some voters may have concerns about Obama as a candidate in the wake of the Wright controversy, most people don't think Obama believes the incendiary remarks Wright has made. In our latest poll, Democrats and independents tend not to think Obama shares Reverend Wright's views. 63% of Democrats and 62% of independents said no. But Republicans, not so sure. 36% said yes, the two men do share the controversial views, and 46% of Republicans said no.
Molly Henneberg live in Washington. Thanks. Our political panel now, Democratic strategist Bernard Whitman, and on the Republican side, Jessica Eckert. Bernard, what's your sense of how this thing is playing now?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think that what we're seeing here is the news media has almost abrogated its responsibility to investigate and examine the candidates. And so
what?
In Obama's case. And so actually, as a Democrat, I welcome this because compared to what Obama would face in the fall if he's the nominee, this whole controversy is child's play. And I think that it's actually healthy for these charges to get out and for Obama to respond, and so we can get past this and move on to the issues that really matter to the American people, which is the economy in Iraq.
Jessica?
Well, Barack Obama has really put himself in a difficult position because just a few months ago, he was the post-racial candidate. He appealed to a wide variety of voters, and really race was not a factor, and he's really put it back on the front page. His speech, while it addressed many areas, all it did was just stir the pot even more, and while Democrats are infighting, we have John McCain abroad looking very presidential and supporting the troops. So Barack Obama has kind of taken a step back from his front-runner status.
John McCain has had an aide suspended today for sending out a video link from YouTube of Barack Obama and the Reverend Wright together. I guess the suspension happened mighty quickly. Jessica, your reaction?
Well, obviously things are happening within John McCain's campaign, and who knows what really went on there, but Barack Obama's relationship with his pastor has really stirred up both sides of the aisle, and we're looking at what exactly is the relationship that he had and how are voters going to respond to it. So I think you're seeing both sides of the aisle taking an extra look at really how this is going to play out.
Bernard, they are being very careful. The campaigns themselves on both sides, suspensions happen quickly.
Well, no, I think that's very important. And but at the end of the day, this is a blip. We have got 7.5 months left in this election, and the polls will go up and they will go down. But I think as we get on towards the fall and the voters focus on the issues that really matter, being the economy and Iraq, the Democrats are incredibly well positioned for victory in the fall.
Bernard, Jessica, thank you both. Breaking news next.